Everybody, welcome to Read at Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today going to go through time, space, awareness. What does it all actually mean, right? So today's video, yesterday and tomorrow are today for God. Simple, right? Makes perfect sense. God exists everywhere and as everything. Therefore, the concept of yesterday and tomorrow must simply exist as today for God. When I say today, I mean now. We're just playing with it, right? Now, you have imagined your end. You feel a little curious. It's like, how can this happen? But it doesn't come from that, how can this happen? It's more from the infinite catalog of things that can happen in every single moment. How can that happen? That's curiosity. That's you saying, okay, I know I'm source, I know I'm awareness, I know that I'm God's reality, blah, blah, blah. How can my desired end happen? And that's curiosity. It's a different kind of energy. It's a different kind of waiting. You aren't waiting for the physical world offering you the evidence that it can't, validating what you are thinking reality to be, right? Your curiosity is you just persisting in the assumption that, hey, I am who I say I am. I'm just curious about what happens now as my physical reality, as that version of myself in every single moment of the bridge of incidents that I am walking upon and along and as. Because I am the bridge experiencing myself walk along it. That's what you're doing as source, right? As awareness, you don't need proof. It is the proof. And what you are doing is manifesting a physical version of you along a bridge that you are creating, but that bridge is actually the rest of reality. But it's all one image. You on every moment of that bridge that you're considering is literally a snapshot of a new reality. Just like a bridge in real life. Every step you take on a bridge is a new brick of the bridge, but all together they make a life stream, a bridge, right? And NevilleGoddard illustrated this perfectly in his Barbados story, right? I will say that Barbados story is fascinating because the amount of videos that are about it, the amount of stories that are about it, and the amount of stories and videos that will probably still come into the 3D experience of reality for all of us is fascinating in and of itself. It shows you how abundant a singular idea is, right? Now, he didn't have a ticket at first, but he imagined himself there. He didn't wait for the thing. Fully alive and in his awareness, he imagined the sand between his toes, right? Weeks later, the ticket arrived. Now, is the point of the arrival the ticket proof that he is in awareness? No. His awareness is the proof, and everything that naturally unfolds as that awareness is simply an effect of you being in that awareness, right? It's just one of the many hows that can happen, right? He didn't even need to get a ticket. Something else could have happened where he ended up in first class. Who knows, right? Reality does, but we don't, because we are just the singular awareness, becoming greater in awareness in every moment, but that great awareness is already aware of everything that it can be. But what's the simplest thing? First class ticket, board to Barbados. That's it. It doesn't need to be over extravagant, but if you desire to be this over extravagant thing, and you can imagine yourself as that, you can know yourself that, you can assume yourself that, it must actually already be that. So, symbolic gestures, right? Boarding the plane, handing over the tickets, signing the contract are just playful reflections of a consciousness that already knows this is who I am. It's never about waiting for the 3D to align. It's about living in and as awareness, choosing it in your imagination, when we say the mind, but choosing it as that experiencing of that mind, and allowing allowing that certainty to unfold right now, right? Embodying the identity. You are that identity. Here's the thing. Your awareness is showing you what identity already exists. You aren't trying to be that. More than that, it's actually you as an identity projected already, are projecting a certain version of reality that now just relates to that specific identity. Imagining yourself as love, as health, as wealth, as freedom, that physical manifested projection of yourself into and as your scene is the identity in that scene. It already existed in that scene together. You aren't creating it and putting it into an empty scene. You're saying, this is who I am. As I am this right here and right now, where else or what else or who or who else do I choose to experience myself as? Okay, there's a version of this experiencing already in that scene. It reflects who I choose to be right now. And then you enter that scene, not waiting, not striving, not forcing. You are awareness, you are love. That's literally the same manifested version of yourself right there and right now. Is coming from the same awareness that you are, that's projecting yourself and the rest of that reality in your imagination, in a knowing, as the identity you now choose to be, as the reflection of reality you now choose to be seeing. You are awareness, you are love. Often there is this belief that you must now act differently, dress differently, speak differently. But to be this new version, none of that is necessary because you are already that new version. You embodied it, you imagined it, everything is not going to reflect that. Even if your clothes are different in that version, you don't need to go and buy clothes to represent it. You'll automatically experience yourself in the doing, being, and having of that. You say, I don't have money to go buy new clothes. That doesn't matter. Even that is part of the seed of fulfillment. When the identity is chosen in awareness, the rest of it naturally follows. Right? Walk into a space you have never been before in your imagination, and now you are simply that person who has walked it. Awareness holds the choice. I am or I am not. Right? You are that awareness making the choice. Whatever appears in the 3D is a projection of that awareness. Beneath all appearances, awareness loves life. Beneath all whatever you are appearing to see and be, your awareness is the love and loves life, always. So identify with the awareness that just loves life, that loves living, that loves being existence itself, because it does. Even if the surface is not thrilling, the awareness underneath remains whole. It's very much like the ocean. No matter how much dirt or waves or currents or whatever is going on the ocean or in it, the ocean is just that vast, still, infinite, and itself. That's who you are. Now, time, the fourth way to measure an object. Because we always think that time is linear. It goes from left to right, right? We think that. It's not even left to right, because even that's an arbitrary idea, right? Your knowing of past and present and future is the knowing of a dimension of an object that now must exist. You know this existed yesterday. You know it exists right now, you're looking at it. You know it exists in the future. Even from my point of view, I know it was there yesterday. I know it's in this present as I'm recording it, and I know it's in the future end of this video. So it exists in a multiple number of ways, right? That space is also measurable because it's doing that. Now that measurement must exist. You know, we're watching the measurement as the clock ticks. That's one way to just measure it in a certain amount of knowing, right? Time is a measurement of objects changing state. Just knowing that the length of something exists must mean it's measurable. The measurement of time, however, is omnidirectional. I don't mean that it's going off to different directions. This is a good choice, that's a bad choice. This is the right way, that's the wrong way. I just mean it doesn't flow in one direction forward, coming from one direction from behind it. I mean it goes in all directions, backward and forward, up and down in an idea, as an idea, infinitely. So what I mean by that is this pen can be experienced in every single reality simultaneously from this point, dependent on who and what you say you are. So if you say something, it's going in that direction of reality or this direction of reality. See, it's hard to actually express that properly, I'll have an image, sure, and a better example. But just know that, right? Backward and forward mean nothing to this pen, but it exists in every single image that we can conceive of, and the image is always changing, and the way it came from is also always changing. I don't mean specifically in this video. I mean, the video is one experiencing of it, right? But in reality, you can experience this in an infinite number of ways. I have a better example that I actually did come up with, right? Imagine torchlight on a wall, right? I've had this example before in another previous video, but I'm going to expand it again here. Imagine red light on a wall, and now imagine blue light on that wall. The lights kind of mix together, but now you understand that it is a measurable idea, red, blue, right? They're not really first and second, but your mind created the idea of first and second because the red was their first and the blue was their second, but they kind of intermingle, right? They're superimposed. To get to the blue one from the red one, there is time, because we are now measuring it. Even if you don't go anywhere, there's still a measurement of this is the red, this is the blue, right? That idea. Add green and add yellow. Now we've added more stuff. We added more torchlight, right? Now at no point is going from red, blue, yellow, and green, or red, green, yellow, and blue, or blue, yellow, green, and red an objective path to experience. Because if you're going to experience red, blue, yellow, and green, that is just one. Now you are at green. From green, if you measure backwards, you don't necessarily have to go back the way you came to be where you are. And you can see this now because it is superimposed onto every other bit of light. So red, blue, green, yellow is one direction. And you can go back that direction, but you can go back in any direction. You don't even have to go back in a logical direction because it doesn't matter. Blue, yellow, red, green. It's just where you start yourself here and now is where the absolute power of whatever direction you choose to take. That direction is the measurement of time. You see how even with those four things, there's an infinite number of directions you can go in an infinite number of ways, so an infinite number of measurable moments of time, but it's really just changing state on what state we are choosing to look at. The red light, the blue light, the yellow light, the green light, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no correct path backward or forward. The measurement itself in whatever direction simply exists. That's what time is. So when you're wondering, oh, where's my stuff? It exists right now, superimposed onto your own awareness. Your awareness is the expression of the stuff. What's happening is you're just transversing different variations of reality in the experiencing of you having the stuff. Right? That's all. That's all you're doing. So, the ticket, the plane, the contract, when does the proof come up? When does the physical catch up? Here is the truth. You are the proof. The ticket exists in awareness. You hand it over. You see it torn. You thank the attendant. You step onto the plane. You are already that person. You are being it. You are being that person and the rest of reality. When you're signing a contract for something, you and your chicken scratch signature that you think needs to be perfectly curved, straight, wonderful, doesn't matter. You signed that thing in your awareness. It is signed. You are experiencing the signed version of it. You are that identity, the handshake, walk out, the view from the seat. You are already that in consciousness. That's why when you shake someone's hand, in the assumption that, hey, I just experienced who I want to be, and I'm saying thank you for that. And they are saying, well done, congratulations. You are calling forth that experience where you experienced what you wanted to, and somebody congratulated you for it, and you said thank you. You're doing it all in once. The scene implies that. So it's already been planted. So just because you went to blue from red doesn't mean yellow and green stop existing. If it is necessary for it to exist in that path, it just will. And green doesn't look like blue whatsoever, but it doesn't matter. You know that's all superimposed. It means nothing. But where are you parking your focus in your mind? In misery to validate your life? To prove that, hey, my life is miserable, so my awareness must be correct? Stop, let go, right? You don't need to wait. You don't need to validate your existence through struggle or delay. You are awareness. You are love, right? You are the plane, the ticket, the torn stub, the office, the contract, the signature. You are the ocean, right? The waves don't define you. They simply pass. And why on earth would you wait anyway? Why postpone pleasure, curiosity, creation, imagination? Why wait for the 3D evidence to reflect what your awareness already holds? It's yours now, right here. It's done. You don't need to become it. You simply know it. Your knowing of it is the experiencing of the creation that already exists and being it. Your knowing is the idea. You know something happened yesterday. You know something will happen tomorrow. That knowing is the evidence of its existence. Knowing is being, knowing is doing, knowing is creating. You are all of it simultaneously. The awareness, the love, the identity, the ticket, the torn stub, the first class seat, the contract, the signatures, the love. And that's enough. It has always been enough. I am your host, Reese. This is Reaction Reality with Reese. Thank you all for being here. Much love. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscribing. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the Facebook group, and thank you for joining the TikTok page. And I will see you all in the next one. Much love, much light. And don't forget, tomorrow, yesterday is all today for the real you. Much love, much light, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.